Because the thing about leadership is that we do it really unconsciously, right? We all learned about how leadership is done from a very young age in some kind of automatic way, right? We learned it from an early teacher or an early boss or from some guy on TV or maybe from the politicians that we see on TV. And we sort of have unconsciously, kind of like we do parenthood, right? We learn it from our own parents and we sort of unconsciously replay, even if we say we're going to do it differently, we discover ourselves reenacting the way that we were parented, right? These unconscious patterns. And leadership is much the same. We will reenact unconsciously what we learned as a young age, at some young age, about how to do leadership, how leadership looks, what it looks like to be a leader, how we treat the people. What is that relationship all about? And that would be great if we were surrounded by a bunch of amazing leaders. But as it takes about 1 second to look at the leaders in our world to realize that's just not who we're surrounded by. We're not surrounded by great bosses and extraordinary political leaders and extraordinary leaders in our churches or synagogues or wherever it is, right? We're surrounded by a bunch of people who are struggling. So it's worth thinking about, how might we do this more consciously? So why do people follow? Well, six reasons. The first is what I call domination. Basically, this is kind of like back to the caveman and the apes, right? They follow the biggest, baddest ape in the clan, right? They follow because if you don't, I'm going to kick your butt, right? And that's very sort of natural. It's always going to work. You can always threaten people, and get them to do what you want them to do. The next level here is about rank, right? When you see the lights flashing in your rearview mirror, you pull the car over, right? It's not because you're afraid the guy's going to kick your butt, but you're avoiding some other kind of pain, right? You're trying not to get arrested at this point. So you pull the car over and you do what you're told. And that's because this person that you're now following, he's following you, but you know what I mean, has got rank over you. And you just got to pretty much do what you say to avoid some kind of pain. So the relationship between followers and leaders in these kind of lower levels is about fear and survival, right? You follow because you're afraid something bad's going to happen to you. And of course, that works as a leadership tactic. You can dominate and threaten and get people to do what you want. And unfortunately, if we look around at our histories as employees and the bosses around us, of course we don't do this, but you see a lot of domination and threats in the workplace. And again, that'll work. The downside, of course, is that just like the biggest ape in the clan, as soon as the followers possibly can, they're not a part of your tribe anymore, right? And maybe they're sticking a knife in your back, right? They're not into this relationship, so it's not sustainable and it's not good. You basically have to continue to be a brute in order to maintain this relationship. It's not what you want. So the next level is expertise. Expertise is like, think about a doctor or a lawyer, right? Doctor tells you to take a little red pill and you take it because, the thing might totally kill you, but he's got a white coat on and he's got a plaque on the wall and you're deferring to his expertise in some way, right? So that makes sense. And the next level here is power. Power is about deferring to people who have power, right? So think about business leaders or maybe a leader of a trade organization or a politician or, the mayor of your town, right? You're going to kind of do what they say because they've got some sort of power over life, something that interests you, right? And the relationship of these couple of levels is different, dramatically different than fear and survival. You're not afraid anymore that these people are going to harm you. Instead, what you realize is that these people have something you want, right? Maybe power is also like your boss, right? So maybe they have a paycheck that you want, or maybe they have health, right? If it's a doctor, they've got the access to getting healthy again, or if it's a lawyer, they've got access to not losing your shirt from some jerk who wants to sue you, or whatever it is, right? So you need something from them, and this is a much better relationship to have with the people that are following you because they're not likely to stick a knife in your back at the first opportunity. However, these aren't the people that are going to work nights and weekends for you, right? They're not the people that are going to kind of devote their lives to your cause. In fact, once you don't have what they want anymore, they're not sticking around, right? If there's a better offer from the competition, they're going to go take a better offer from the competition, right? When somebody else has more of what they want, that's where they're going to go. So again, much better relationship to have. It's a consensual relationship, but it's not ultimately where you want to be as a leader. The next level is what we call mission. And this is where things change dramatically. And at this level, people are following because they are inspired by the cause that this leader is leading. They're inspired by the destination, right? This may be a some kind of humanitarian cause, or it might be a big vision. In our business, our mission is to support entrepreneurs in delivering their value to the world by to support entrepreneurs in delivering their value to the world by removing the burden of technology and automating their business, right? And so that's what we do. Everything we do in our business is about supporting entrepreneurs. And we get to work with thousands of people like yourselves that are awesome. We are totally inspired to be working with the kind of people who are taking responsibility for their lives and for the lives of their employees and their families and, are the dreamers and creators in the world. And we notice that they get stuck by technology, and we can make a big difference in that area by removing that burden and streamlining their businesses. And we get to see the effects of our work every day, and it's an inspiring project to meet somebody who's an amazing got amazing value to offer, and to all of a sudden has been struggling. Has been struggling with the basics, which what to us is a basic, like a website and like sell your stuff and fulfill it and send some email. And they've been struggling and paying thousands of dollars and failing, and then all of a sudden in 2 days we can change their lives, and all of a sudden their business is free. They're free to move forward. It's an inspiring mission. And so we spend a lot of time in our organization talking about the mission that we're on, right? This isn't about getting a paycheck for our people. This is about supporting entrepreneurs and delivering their value to the world. It's an inspiring project, and the relationship that's created between us and our employees at this level is dramatically different, right? The difference is they're not asking, what can you do for me? They're asking, what can I do for you, right? How can I contribute to this cause? It's a big shift. So the last here, which didn't fit in the little top one, so he made it like the top of the pyramid, all glowing, is role model. And role model, we think of like Martin Luther King or Gandhi, right? This is personal role models. This isn't people are following not just because they're excited about making a difference in your mission, but they're excited about the opportunity to be better people in their own lives, right? And so this is you think of your religious leaders or or like what it says, just really role models in our lives. And when you get to this level, what you have is people that are not ever leaving, right? They devote their and they're not sticking around just because you're giving them a paycheck, and they're not even sticking around just because of the mission you're on. They're sticking around because they're devoted to who you are as a person. And of course, in order to create this kind of relationship, you've got to be the kind of people that your followers want to be, a person of integrity, right? Not, I mean, like rich necessarily. You need to be somebody who they respect, a person of integrity who is willing to tell the truth and who cares more about the people around them and their mission than they do about sort of getting more for themselves. There's kind of a trust relationship, right? So, can you see how leading from these top levels is going to naturally... Here's the thing, is that the best people, and you guys know this just by looking for 1 second, the best people in your organization are not willing to have the kind of relationship with their bosses that's down here. This guy's glued to his phone. This is what I'm talking about. It's an emergency. The best people are not willing to have the kind of relationships that exist at the bottom of this triangle, right? These people are not going to come to work and get dominated and threatened. And they're not even coming to work just to get a paycheck, right? The best people are creating their lives in a way that is fulfilling to them, right? And so to create an environment where that is possible, and those kind of people are attracted to these kind of upper levels of relationship. Does that make sense? Yeah. So then the question is, of course, how do I do more of the upper level stuff and less of the lower level stuff? And it's actually not that much of a mystery, really. You don't have to, stop dominating, right? Stop threatening people. Have a mission, articulate your mission, be clear about why you're in business. It's not just to, put food on the table. It's to, create safe, nurturing environments for families to be raised, right? In your industry, whatever it is, however you articulate it, whatever the real purpose is for your company is to articulate that. And again, to be the kind of people. You'll also notice that once you have some of these higher level relationships in place, and once you're attracting the kind of people that are interested in that, you'll just naturally not have to do that lower level stuff so much, right? You're not going to end up threatening. We don't threaten our employees. We don't ever have to do that because we just don't have the kind of people that need that, right?
Yeah, it was interesting. John was talking earlier about the 10 steps of accountability, and we were like, 10 steps? Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. It's really great, and you guys should totally follow it. We never get past step 3. I mean, really, in our business, it's like step 1, step 2, step 3, and people are like, they're so apologetic, and they're like, let me tell you the steps I'm going to take to change this around, or let me actually take time off of work and figure out if this is where I want to be. They're telling us that versus us telling them to take the time off, versus us asking them, what do you think you should do? They're telling us. They do a whole presentation and a song and dance of what they need to do because they realize that they not wronged us, but they weren't holding the standards that we all hold.